This episode contains discussions of fat shaming and online bullying. Listen at your own discretion. It is Monday, the 14th of October, 2024. My name is Pigeon Rose, and this is my song of the day. Start of another week here on Pigeon's Song of the Day. I mentioned that there's no theme this week, it's just songs I wanted to do. And today we're doing a song that I discovered through TikTok. But I'm not unique in that. It's not like I was late to the party or something. This song originated on TikTok and blew up through TikTok. And that is how everyone knows it. The song is called If I Were a Fish, and it's by Corook featuring Olivia Barton. The whole story of it is that the two singers are dating, they're partners, and Corook received this influx of negative online comments, I think on one of their previous TikToks, and they were upset, obviously, and then Olivia, their partner, helped them to write a song about the situation to kind of cheer them up, and they specifically were like trying to write something kind of silly and weird as like an interesting perspective on it, and so they wrote a song in like 10 minutes, just wrote like a verse and a chorus, and released a TikTok of them singing it, and it blew up. It was a massive sensation. People kept duetting it and adding their own harmonies, adding other instruments to it. I think I first discovered it through just the original TikTok. The one I eventually saved was like 5 different people harmonizing and adding other vocals to it, but it's just so catchy and so sweet. I loved it right away. And so I was excited when they finally released a full version of the song later that month, and then it appeared on their EP Serious Person Part 1. And yeah, it's a really good song. Obviously, that's why we're talking about it today. And I think that's all the preamble I need to give you. We'll talk about what the song is about afterwards. But right now, let's listen to it and then come back in a few minutes and talk about it. There it is. Short, sweet, and simple. What a lovely song. Their voices harmonize so well, and they add in obviously extra layers of vocals in the studio version, but they intentionally tried to keep the energy of the original TikTok, so it still sounds very small and acoustic and intimate, while being this kind of big, hell yeah song, you know? So the song itself is about the negative comments that Corook was receiving, obviously, or rather it's inspired by that. The actual topic of the song is about like body image and self-love and self-esteem, and it's about loving yourself and recognizing what other people might see as faults can be seen as unique good traits, right? It's all about context. The whole title, the whole premise of it being about a fish made me think everyone is a genius, but if you judge a fish on its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it is stupid. Often attributed to Albert Einstein, probably didn't actually say it. As Abraham Lincoln once said, don't believe everything you read on the internet. Anyway, that's what the title made me think of, and it's using these other examples of like, if I were a fish, people would like this thing about me. If I were a rock, people would like this thing about me. You know, it's all about perspective and how there's always reasons to love yourself. You just have to look for them. So I think we're just going to go right into the lyrics. It starts off with just the 1, 2, 3, 4 and the guitar going. If I were a fish and you caught me, you'd say, look at that fish, shimmering in the sun, such a rare one, can't believe that you caught one. If I were a fish and you caught me, you'd say, look at that fish, heaviest in the sea, you'd win first prize if you caught me. So a lot of the reason that Corook was getting negative comments is because they're heavy, right? And they were getting criticized for their weight. They were being called fat or whatever other terms and insults that people use to describe overweight people. So the start of it is just here. If I were a fish, you'd say, look at that fish, such a rare one, can't believe they caught one. That's just about how unique they are. Specifically shimmering in the sun, they wear very colorful clothing. They have a very unique, specific clothing style. So that's, you know, they stand out. And so if that was a fish, you'd be like, oh, it's so rare, it's so pretty, right? And then, you know, look at that fish, heaviest in the sea, you'd win first prize if you caught me. So we judge humans for standing out too much. We judge humans for being heavy, but fish, the heavier the better. If you catch the heaviest fish in the sea, you would win first prize in a competition. You'd probably get a lot of money for it. You get people coming around to take photos with it, right? So why do we judge fish differently than humans is the point here, right? And then the chorus, why is everybody in the internet so mean? Why is everybody so afraid of what they've never seen? If I was scrolling through and I saw me flopping around and singing my song, I'd say damn they're cute and sing along. So lays out the themes very barely here. Why is everybody on the internet so mean? Because it's the internet and people are anonymous. Why is everybody so afraid of what they've never seen? So this is tapping into the whole social thing about it. It's always fear of the unknown, not wanting to accept things that you're not used to, and that often is because of the media favoring people of a specific type. So you're going to criticize people who are heavy because you're used to seeing thin people, you know, that kind of thing. If I was scrolling through and I saw me flopping around and singing my song, flopping around again calls to mind a fish out of water, I'd say damn they're cute and sing along. So they're saying, from my perspective, I don't see anything wrong or unhealthy or whatever about the kind of person that I am. So if I was scrolling through and I saw someone like me, I'd be like, damn, they're cute. And so it's like a little self-esteem boost, because you have to remember that this was them writing this to cheer them up. And then if I were a rock, you would pick me up and say, that's a nice rock, skippiest on the lake, plop, 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 I'm the perfect shape. And if I were a sock, you would put me on and say, that's a nice sock. Happiest as a pair. I found you. No, I'm not scared. So the original TikTok ended after the first chorus. And I liked it. It was cute. I understood the messaging of it. It was great. I first listened to the full version walking home from work. I remember this very specifically. And I was like, you know, bopping along to it like, oh yeah, this sounds good. They added like little bits here and there, but it doesn't sound too different to the TikTok. And the second verse started and I started crying because I was like, this is the perfect addition to it. Doesn't ruin it at all. And also it hurts. It hits me so hard. You know, if I were a rock, that's a nice rock, skippiest on the lake. So it implies, you know, the specific kinds of rocks that are perfect for skipping stones, right? And then plop, plop, plop is the sound of it skipping across the lake. And then I'm the perfect shape. Sung so gently too. It's plop, 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 I'm the perfect shape. That really got me. It just really sunk into me what the song is about, and it got me, because I am not a thin person. I'm not like incredibly I'm not obese or something, but I am overweight, and I have been I have a complex. I have been criticized for my weight by many people, my mother, throughout my life, and you know, it's something I've had to deal with about not liking my body, not liking my shape. And so that plop, plop, plop in the perfect shape was a fucking punch in the gut in the best way possible, you know, because it's being seen, right? That's the whole, why I love the song so much. I felt seen, you know. And then if I were a sock, you would put me on and say, that's a nice sock. That's just cute. But then happiest as a pair, I found you, no, I'm not scared. So it's about finding someone who helps you, whether it's a romantic partner or a friend or whatever it is. It's about, you know, finding someone who gets you, because it's, if I were a sock, you'd put me on and say, that's a nice sock. Happiest as a pair, right? So it's these two things that are a pair, they go together. I found you, no, I'm not scared. Now, it seems to me that this is obviously about Corook and Olivia Barton, the two singers who, like I said, are dating, and the song was about cheering them up, so it makes sense that this is about them. And that makes me very happy. I think that's very sweet, but also I get what they're talking about. Like, comparing a relationship to a pair of socks is like, it's weirdly sweet and relatable. And then we get the chorus again, the why is everybody on the internet so mean refrain, and then the bridge. How lucky are we, of all the fish in the sea, you get to be you and I get to be me. Just let him be mean, we're as free as can be, to be the youest of you and the meest of me. I love this too. Changes up the tune a bit, kind of brings it a bit bigger, and I love that. I love the way this sounds. And yeah, how lucky are we of all the fish in the sea. So there's a whole line about, you know, there's plenty of fish in the sea, there's other people out there, but it's like, of all the fish in the sea, we are ourselves. We get to be unique. We get to be us. And that's what's so cool, right? Again, tying into the fish thing, of course. Just let him be mean. We're as free as can be. You know, these comments don't have to hurt us. They can do whatever they want. We'll still be happy because we're doing our own thing. We're us. We can be the youest of you and the meest of me. And then the outro is just, if I were a fish, do 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 do. Although I do enjoy, and there's a music video that shows them recording it. On the second last one, Kurika's like, and they both laugh. I just love that. It's very sweet. And then at the end of the song, you hear one of them say, this is the funnest thing I've ever done in my life. The music video has them being like, oh yeah, I think we finally got it recorded. You know, just a really sweet song. I love it. I'm glad that it helped Corook. There's now a book of it, by the way, a little picture book. And I'm also glad that it introduces the world to Corook, because I didn't know them before I heard the song, as with most people. But like, I listened to Serious Person Part 1, the EP that this ended up on, and it's great. And the title song, Serious Person, is really good. Really reminds me of Dodie. Dodie's kind of slow piano songs is what it reminds me of. Anyway, yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about this one. Thank you so much for listening. Please hit like, hit subscribe, leave a comment down below. Tell me what you think. Tell other people about this show. Thank you so much for listening, and I will talk to you tomorrow.
Break it down.
Hold on, I'm going to Google the quote because I'm going to mess it up. If you judge a fish. If you judge, I just typed. This is what I get for doing it one-handed. I have a complex. I find it quite simple.